The second chakra connected with the feminine is the the communication chakra. When she's in balance, it is really, communication is loving, it's strong, it's constant, it's multidimensional. It's not just words, it's communication that's psychic and physical and heartfelt. There's a flow of connectedness, and there are many, many realms with which she's got lots of tools for self-expression. And this is why the five arts goes with the feminine chakra of expression, because she's expressing in music and dance and painting and writing and art and healing work. Now, when I say she, I'm talking about, this is the feminine triangles. It doesn't exclude men from any of these things, or women from the masculine triangle. We're talking about archetypal energies here, okay? Keep that clear. But these do tend to break down in terms of the resonance of the masculine and the feminine. We do tend to reside in these three chakras more than men do, and men tend to reside in the other three chakras more than women do. So it's all a balance. It's all a balance of integrating our own masculine and feminine. So here it is. She's got all this creative ability, all this birth energy, and all these ways to express herself through the five arts, through other domains. And she's got home and security and depth and rootedness in her own being, and in present time, heaven, here and now. The feminine rooted, grounded chakra is about, it's about heaven here and now. It's not about waiting for some spiritual reward. It's about deserving it now, and her children being born innocent. Okay. Now, when you take the feminine triangle, though, the feminine pyramid, and you overlay it with a masculine pyramid that does not recognize her, does not value her, and tries to sublimate all of her values and needs, what happens is you have the chakra of rootedness and security becomes taken over by fixations such as war and guns, things that are outer in order to create protection. There is not a value for home being a rooted place. The career will take over, and basically it won't matter that you're going to lose all your community and your family connections and your connections with the land itself. So home becomes kind of a lonely place. Also, home is not, because it's not treated as important, it will be a dry place. It will be a place that's just not that beautiful, that's not that homey, that's not that doesn't have the feminine aspects of comfort and color and texture and things like that. We'll get into more of that later, one of these things at a time. And now you get to communication, and communication with the masculine is with everything, with everyone, because it's the feminine is not being honored, she's dismissed. There isn't much communication. Communication is the masculine will just walk away. He'll say, I'm not doing this. Or she will become hysterical. She will become exploding, is so upset because she's being dismissed. She's not being listened to. She's not being valued in all these, in hundreds of ways. And so what happens is she's exploding. Communication becomes nasty and mean, shaming and blaming. The bitch archetype comes in. The masculine, archetype of just stonewalling, basically, or telling her it's invalid that she wants to communicate so much because other women he's known never needed that. It's a mess. It's not compassionate communication. And what happens is, because we're not valuing the feminine anymore, the arts go away, or they become commodities where you watch other people singing, dancing, and doing theater. You no longer are engaged yourself, and all of the arts go out of the schools. So we can see in a planet where we're not valuing the feminine, or at least this country in America, the United States, you can see that, we don't have art in the schools anymore, really. We don't have theater, dance, painting, writing, music, all the ways that we used to really have the arts valued. All of the grants for the arts go away. and it's just so tragic because it's that live music that brings romance and joy, which is the feminine again. Romance, comes with the arts being in present time, that are alive, active, and that you're engaged with. You are the partner dancers. You are the people doing some amazing art project, mural. You are a musician of your own. You can play lullabies to your kids and play guitar. You are theatrical and funny, and you tell stories and you're hilarious. You are an actor. You are engaged with the arts, whereas when the feminine is not valued, nobody's really that creative anymore. People are just mechanical, and they think that that's okay, that life, is to entertainment. Then they become addicted to TV and movies and such because they don't have it themselves. So they're hungry for that creative spark. So they're going to get it through the media. Okay, so now you have, when it's in the negative aspect for her sexuality, okay, now you have cock-centered sex. That's only about him and his pleasure. You have no remembrance, really. Women don't even get to know what they're physically capable of sexually because it's not being done for them in a way that's about them anymore. Sexuality becomes like another commodity that is just use her, take from her, rape from her, basically, without giving back to her. The exchange levels aren't there. So it's really, really sad, because then you have religion coming in too in the negative masculine paradigm. You have the religion coming in and saying, her sensuality, her sexuality, the five senses are evil. You must do Lent and not have any pleasures in order to show that you love God. You must abstain from sex with your wife. Buddha must, push away the goddess. So the three goddesses, and to show how enlightened he is, he pushes away the goddess herself, and now that shows how great he is. All of the religious dogma comes in to take away the innate joy of union with woman and a life of pleasure and the five senses of what you see and what you hear and what you taste and what you feel, all being the gift of the feminine to the masculine. So sad, right? So sad. Now, we go back to the feminine in her positive aspect. When she's all in balance and all of this is valued in her from the masculine, and he's so thankful for all of these things, and everybody knows that there's a union going on here. What is at the center of the two unified pyramids is love. Love is at the center, and consciousness is at the center of love and service to love. When it's out of balance, and there's no honoring of the feminine, that's when love is just not there, and there's not really a sacred boundary holding the couple. And what's at the center is the money symbol, is this symbol of power, money. Just money is life, work is life, and me, get more for me, which is in the end self-destructive. And it is how the planet is now. The destruction cycle of ecological disasters come from money being at the center, the feminine being just not even in the story as worshipped and as valuable as the masculine. And instead of love at the center, family at the center, and consciousness serving love, we've got this empty money power symbol, and we have no boundary, no sacred container, which is the sacred container for the orb that contains the two pyramids of the tetrahedron of energetic love. Energized love is what I call it, or the sacred geometry of relationship. I know, I got all this. It's pretty awesome, isn't it? I got all of this. I'm getting it. I'm still getting it. Every day I hear more from the goddess about what you need to know, what we all need to know and remember in order to return to the divine feminine. So beautiful. Okay, so that was the feminine pyramid in her balance and her imbalance. Now let's go to the unification of the two.